everybody? Welcome to another edition, another episode of ATL 101. I'm your host, John Wayne. Got my co-host here with me, my boy Yummy.
Yeah, what's happening?
Young, and my girl Diamond P down on the end.
What's up?
Hey, but we're not by ourselves today. We got a very special guest. The one and only ATL's finest, DJ Kizzy Rock.
Hey, one time, East Side representative in the building.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, the cater,
That's right.
You said what?
East Side all day.
The cater
East Side representative. I know you West Side. It's all good. I went to the Silver Fox. I was for 731. I was there. Much love to the West Side.
Cater greater.
Most definitely. East Side all day.
And we ain't stand no hater.
That's right.
I'm just
The
gonna
West
give you,
Side frown
I'm
down
really
there.
gonna give you your credit what credit was due and say the legendary. Okay. I was gonna take it down.
Okay.
But since you so east side, I'm still gonna give him his props, you know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna give him his credit because he earned every bit of the legendary.
Every bit.
But you ain't got the, cause then you got your player partner over here saying, yeah, east side.
Yeah.
Hey man, word way. Hello.
Yeah.
I'll hold it down for all my west side connect. Don't worry about it.
Oh man. You know, I'm Southwest, Southside, so we rock here. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Captain Road, being here.
It's all love.
Yeah.
So-
Swatch didn't come out to what, 90? We ain't good about saying something about that. Well, nobody said about Swatch until Swatch came out in what, 2002? When Swatch came out.
Oh man.
No, for real, when Swatch came
Turn the
out.
lights on to 166 so we can see what the fuck
Oh my
going on.
gosh, they don't want to turn lights on at 166 for nothing.
Still don't be.
Man,
That part.
why they so cheap?
That part.
Man, light us up like you do on Georgia 400. Man, boy.
That part.
Yeah, better not break down over there. But
What?
Boy, you better not want to.
Hey, yeah,
You better not want to.
Hey, real talk, because you either gonna have to walk backwards the Greenbrier, or you gonna
Oh,
walk
like what?
forward the stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Yummy, your car and your money ain't gonna be gone. Cause they take it all.
Better not.
Oh,
Better not.
Oh man, but no, Kizzy, what's up, man?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here,
Man,
man.
we happy to have you here,
I'm
bro.
happy. I'm happy.
Happy to have
So
you here.
ATL 101 is really about celebrating Atlanta greatness.
Okay.
You know, and really talking to the Atlanta greats and people who have made history and making history, and you definitely have done that. And so we want to just really talk to you today, just hear your story, like personally, like how you started DJing, how you flipped it from DJing to becoming an artist. You know what I mean? Like, give us the rundown.
Well, I started as an MC. I was MCing first, like early days of high school, maybe like 9th, 10th grade. And around 11th grade, I met these twins. We all went to this school called Lakeside. I met these twins, Derek and Dwayne Jenkins. They were DJs. They had some equipment down in their mom's basement. So I went over there after school, and that's when I first got introduced to the little setup. They were learning, and we all was kind of just learning together. So I asked my mom, could I get some turntables and stuff? So one Christmas, she got me some, DJs know, Radio Shack. That was the place, man. Radio Shack. I had a realistic mixer, and I didn't have 1200s yet. It was just some regular direct drive turntables. And then that's how I kind of got started with me DJing. And I started doing neighborhood house parties all around the neighborhood. And then I can fast forward the
So
story.
were you throwing the parties, or
No.
were people that was having the parties?
Yeah, people
want you
having
to
the party want me to DJ.
Okay.
So the word kind of started spreading around, because I'm from Gresham Park, East Side.
I got you. I
I'm
got
from
you.
Gresham Park, and I started doing parties in the flat shows area, Wesley Chapel. I just started spreading around. So I was at this school called Open Campus.
I went there too.
I went there too.
I'm at Open Campus, and it's
North
a lady by the name of Tracy Phillips. Trey Love, her auntie worked at the J Shop. At that time, That was huge. Edward J. Edward J is a man who owned a record store, and he had DJs in his record store that made mixtapes, and these mixtapes were called J tapes, and they were like gold. So her auntie worked there.
So okay, so let me pause right quick, because I was a big Jam Pony fan.
Oh,
that was my thing.
Well,
Why pull me away from Jam Pony? That was my thing. So Edward J influenced Jam Pony. Or
I don't think so. I think that they were both doing their thing kind of around the same time, but I don't think that.
So Edward J was kind of doing the same thing Jam Pony was on.
It was a little different. Jam Pony was doing this thing called mic checking, where they would make the record reply to what they were saying.
Right.
Slick Vic and Big Ace and all that. Edward J was more like just a host speaking over the beats with his own little style, but it wasn't necessarily mic checking.
Okay. So
they both were in the mixtape game, but they had different angles at how they were making their mixtapes.
Gotcha. So you started DJing and DJing house parties, and then I'm assuming your name just starts spreading.
I went to Edward J's shop, and I ended up meeting him, and he wanted me to make a audition tape. I made him an audition tape. I didn't hear back from him. I went back up there, and the tape was in the showcase. Back then, he put all the cassettes in the showcase. That's how you decided which one you wanted. And he had it in the showcase, and it had my name on it. So he wasn't in there that particular day. So I come back, and I was like, I had been looking for you, because we didn't exchange numbers or nothing. And he was like, yeah, I had been looking for you. He was like, this tape is, basically this tape is awesome. So that's how I got on the J team. And once I got on the J team and started making mixtapes through Edward J's connection, it went to a whole nother level. Now I'm doing parties on the west side.
Okay, you came to the west side.
I'm on the south side. I'm moving, because Edward J, them tapes was big. They was going everywhere. Like even when we started on kind of speeding up, but I was in a group called the A-Town Players.
Of course.
We would go and do shows as A-Town Players, and they didn't really know A-Town Players, but they knew me and Puncho, because me and Puncho was coming from the J team.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Puncho was just rapping, right?
Yeah, Player Puncho was rapping. Player Puncho used to work at the barbershop that was next door to the J shop.
Oh, wow.
And Puncho knew all the songs that was on the mixtapes. Edward J would, if somebody said, I want that mixtape, what's on there? Puncho knew all the songs. And he was just hanging around, and I put him on the mixtape. So I put Puncho on the mixtape, and it just kind of went from there. I ended up putting him in the group, A-Town Players, and
so A-Town Players was you, Puncho, who else?
DJ Bonet.
Yeah, that's
Rest
right.
in peace.
DJ Bonet.
DJ Bonet. We were A-Town Players. That was 93. That's one why I was talking to you earlier, because you thought I was kind of in the forefront with the music scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of behind a few of them guys. Because you got Mojo, Raheem, Shadi,
right.
Kilo. I was still making tapes when Kilo had a record out. I was still kind of just making tapes. Kilo record was out like, 90?
So let me ask you this. Coming behind some of those other greats, artist-wise, what records would you say were the real bangers? Obviously, Kilo, Cocaine.
Coming out of Atlanta?
Yes, coming out of Atlanta.
Yeah. Kilo, definitely. Raheem had some. Sammy Sam. Sammy Sam had some. And then you got these groups that don't really get mentioned, like 1-5 Posse. It's a few. It's a few with some that had some real bangers that was coming out. But we was kind of vibing off of Florida. We were. Because Atlanta booty shake was nothing but Florida, but it wasn't as graphic. But the tempo, we was on it.
Yeah, Florida was graphic.
Yeah,
They was-
very.
They ain't have no chick.
Very.
No.
Very. We wasn't like that. We was more party, you know. They were like party and songs.
Right.
Show something. See something.
We was on the loop door. We was on the loop door.
See what you got.
Yeah, splat pack.
That's
See something.
Absolutely.
To the side.
Oh man. So go ahead, Don.
So I got a question.
I'm listening.
Where did you get the name Kizzy Rock? How did you come about that name?
Okay. Nobody never asked me that before in the interview. Well, it's crazy, but my original rap name was Kid D. K-I-D, Big D.
Not the little.
Not the little D.
Okay.
Then I was hanging with a guy named Manzy King. That was his name. We used to call him Manzy. Now, at the time I was coming out, rock was a big thing. Everybody had rock at the end of their names. So I knew I wanted the last part to be rock, and it was Kid D, but he was Manzy. So I started saying Kizzy. Now this girl Trey Love, who I told y'all, Tracy Phillips, who introduced me to Edward J. We at the same school, and I was saying, how does Kizzy sound? She was like, take the D out. So it was Kizzy. Okay, Kizzy Rock. I said, that kind of got a little ring to it. And that's how we came up with it, Kizzy Rock. I had no idea that Roots, Kunta Kinte's daughter, was named Kizzy or none of that. I didn't know none of that at the time. Just came up with it. Manzy, Kizzy, took out the D, Kizzy Rock. Been rolling with it ever since.
Okay.
And now for you, as no cap, no kissing.
Yeah, that was weird. I felt weird when that first came out, yeah. Everybody was like, no Kizzy. All right, wait a minute.
Nah, it's
No,
always Kizzy.
it's always Kizzy.
What you said?
Yeah,
Child,
for
not
real.
child, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So to kind of fast forward a little bit, my question is, how did you become the? I'm gonna say the king, because they actually, you are the go-to person for this. So when it come down to the yeet, you the king of that. How did that come about?
Because I'm a DJ first, and the dance floor was always my main goal. And in Decatur, yeeking and just dancing period is huge. And I knew what songs to play to really get them going. So when I started making music, I just kept those elements in whatever I created. Like the music I make is designed specifically for those kind of cats. Like I got a song I put out last week. I got a new song called One Time that's designed specifically for them. It's always been that way. From Eat 'em Up, everything has been that way. Yeah, Shawty, yeah, we kind of went in another direction, but other than that, it's always been the dance floor. The dance floor has always been the priority.
Gotcha.
So that's why, and I got so many songs that's for them. So.
Gotcha. So do you still have those? Are you still selling the songs? Because I know at one point in time you was putting them on drives and you was selling them, and I know they was selling out because people was like, we can't get them, and you had to constantly keep, uploading.
Those were the mix CDs. I took the mix CDs and put them on the USBs, and that's what now that took off like wildfire.
Yeah.
I started that right when the pandemic started, 2020.
Oh, okay.
So where did the yeet originate from?
Yeet,
Where it came from?
I think, definitely Atlanta, but it started in the dancing community because yeet is a thing they say as far as their finishing move.
Right.
When they do their routine.
Yeah. All that
Yeet,
kind of
when
shit.
they do, they say yeet.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a finishing move, kind of anthem,
Right.
battle cry chant type of
Right.
thing. So
Tell you
it's deep. It's deep when you get within that culture of that dancing.
Right.
That's why I'm not gonna stop ever until I get it all the way out to the world exactly what the culture really stand behind with that dance.
Would you say that was more of an east side thing?
No.
That development on the east side?
No, because on the west side you had groups like Stray Cats, All these guys was geeking too.
Okay.
You know, you got Guess, but the East Side got their groups like Untouchables. You know, so no, it was an Atlanta thing because the culture was preps. Preps was everywhere. High right, low lefts,
Tritons.
tree tons,
With the Band-Aid
tennis
on.
rackets. That was Atlanta.
Right.
So now all sides of town had they, you know, back then Atlanta was basically just West Side, East Side.
Right.
South Side, you know, it was kind of bougie
Yeah.
like over there. You know,
Kinda.
Eastern was still around. A lot of money was floating over there. East Side, West Side was basically Atlanta. So yeah, the geeking, no, it was just Atlanta.
As a whole.
It was as a whole, yeah.
So, top 3, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to name your top 3 ATL clubs of all time, yeah.
I can do it though.
Let's
I
Come on
can
with
do
it.
it.
Come
Let's
on.
get it.
559,
Woo!
True.
Club Excess,
Oh,
Sharon Showcase.
stop
Mm.
playing with them.
I couldn't get them none of them.
Stop playing with
That
them.
was it. If you
Stop
list
playing
those,
with 'em.
but I'm gonna tell you what passed all of them though. It was
Okay.
later on, but it was around 07 maybe. But I was DJing at Central Station, the one in East Point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And East Point was all of those combined on steroids. It
But
was over
okay,
there.
but let me ask you this, because you're right. The Central Station had a run that was unknown to man. Like
Right.
it was phenomenal, right? And obviously we can have that conversation about how that was manufactured or whatever, right?
Right.
There's so many stories out there about about Central Station and East Point, right?
Right.
So, but would you say the vibe in Central Station was like the vibe, or as good as the vibe in Sharon's or Excess or even 559?
The
Like,
year I was at Central Station, it was because Future's Dirty Sprite project had just kind of came out. So, and I tell everybody, that's why I was listening to you earlier talking about Future. Future did change the game. When Future came in, Future music brought the 808 back. And what I was telling everybody, whoever uses the 808, that's who wins. You had Future out, you had Rocco out, you had 2 Chainz out. All of these are heavy 808 songs. So the energy in Central Station it was unmatched. It was just like the energy that would have been going on in 559, simply because it has these 808 high frequency songs vibrating through the club, man. So yes.
would you say people were dancing in 07 the way they were dancing in 559 or Excess or Share? Like,
Well,
the music was different.
The music was different. The energy was the same.
Okay.
The energy was the same, but no, they were dancing more at 559 and Club Excess and Sharon Showcase because they were dancing. Central Station was more, we just lit, we crunk, we just bouncing around, a lot of energy. They had the same energy, same 559 energy. It's just that 559 is booty shake music playing and they dancing. Like, they dance and dance.
559 was like, and granted, like I was still in college during that, but and I'll never forget, I couldn't get in, but the only way I got in was because I was interning at the station and I was working with Greg Street at the time, and I would always want to follow. He was hosting, so I would always want to follow him over on Friday nights, and we would leave the radio station. He'll let me tag along with it, and I constantly remember 559 was so small, and you would have you literally would be squeezing through
You would.
people trying to get through to get to where you're trying to go to or whatever. But it was nothing like it, nothing
No,
like 559.
and you know, in Atlanta, it's always been when college and streets party in the same building.
Yeah.
Those clubs are
Yeah.
legendary. 559 was like that.
Yeah.
Excess was like that.
Yeah, and I built, truth be told, when I was promoting clubs, I was promoting Figure 8. That's how we built. That's how we built our Saturday night, because Friday night was a hood night.
Mm-hmm.
college kids didn't really want to tough with it, but what happened was you had college chicks wanting to come.
Street business.
Yep, exactly.
Always.
And they would. You had college girls coming. We would let the college girls in, you know, free all night. But I would tax them those street motherfuckers all night long.
Yeah.
And you know, none of them wanted to be seen standing in the regular line, so they had to go VIP.
Yeah.
You know, and by the time you had all the hoods, I had them coming from Allen Temple, Southside, Riverdale, Old Nat, all of that or whatever. Basically all
everywhere.
Yeah. And but you know, that's how Waka Flocka blew up. Like I tell the story, like Waka, you know, you had all these college kids in there, and you had all the hood cats in there, and I never forget Waka. This was back before he was before he in his unpolished days, we'll say it like that, when he was still, you know, bullying his way around, right? Some people might say he still is, but
Grove Street.
Yeah, Grove Street. There you go. But gang days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walker, this is too funny. So I would tell security. I was like, you know, you don't know how much you want to tell, right? But I would tell Walker literally would bully his way, right? So I would see him at the door. What's up, John? How you doing? Come on. And I tell DJ, look, we ain't having no performances tonight. Nobody performing tonight or whatever, right? So, cause and Walker would come in, and you know, he'd be posted up, you know, but then make his way to the DJ booth or whatever. And I tell the DJ, ain't no performances. All right, got that? I head on, do something else or whatever. Next thing I know, Walker on stage with the mic, you know, performing. And I'm like, bruh, what, you know, but that's how, but to his credit, and it's so many artists with stories like that, right? That just that persistence and insistence that we gonna make this thing happen. This gonna, you know, and he would do that, always do it. And man, at first the college crowd really didn't know how to react to it. I used to stand back and watch, but it wasn't too long, because when Walker would get on the mic and start jumping around, I mean, he was jumping around back then. The hood would, you know, especially the South Side, that was, you know.
Hit squad.
Yeah, all day long. And so, shout out to Trez. And then, and before you know it, you had all the college kids on it. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, it's out of here.
Yeah.
You know? And then now I'm fighting with them like, look, motherfucker, like, you used to perform for free here. Like, don't do that. Don't be sending me off the dare. I ain't trying to have that conversation. Going to do my show now. You know. So, you know, but yeah, I definitely get what you're saying about college crowd and hood crowds. In Atlanta, they have always partied together. And
those are the biggest clubs.
Yes, exactly.
That energy is unmatched.
Exactly. Let me ask you this.
Hold on. Before we jump off club, now, I can't just let this fly. Because before I couldn't even get in club now. Until my brother opened a club on Old National called Center Court.
Right.
We couldn't even get in nowhere. They wouldn't let us in. You'd have to pay our way in. But I remember Kizzy Rock used to be in there DJing.
Right.
And you used to have that motherfucker
Sideways.
Sideways. So before we breezed over that, I couldn't even get in no club.
And that was the hottest club Atlanta ever had. Center Court. You remember the temperature in that spot? Atlanta has a high club, the Center Court. Oh my God. That club is
Nah, the air was on, bro. Yeah, since you had to talk. That shit was just so many people running that shit. I got the folk that had ventilation before we got there.
So y'all must have gave it the true definition of hot Atlanta.
For real, that club there was high, man.
So my brother told Mr. Big Time, man. Till he came with that club, bro, we couldn't even get in nowhere. But that was like our little spot. We used to let folks in the back door. He used to get mad. That one used over there with DJ Boo.
Yep.
I think DJ Dre.
Mm.
Ace used to be there. Used to be a lot of DJs there, man. But I remember you used to have that motherfucker side.
Yeah, I was playing then J. Paul. I was
Right.
on both of them.
Right, nah, for sure. So I ain't want J.
Yeah.
J. Paul.
So J. Paul had Tar backed up.
Yeah, it did.
No.
It did.
J. Paul was the spot too.
Mm-hmm.
So kids, let me ask you this. So what's your take on and obviously music transitions like everything else,
Mhm.
right? But you obviously have seen it move from sound to sound and that sort of. I'm just interested to know what's your take on, and not saying to compare it to old or new or what's better or whatever, but I'm just interested to know what's your take on today's music, you know, from what you've experienced music back in the day.
I think the music now, let's talk now to prior 6 months, I'm liking it. The content, I don't like the direction kind of the women have taken with what they're doing now with music. But what I do like is the 808.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you, since you brought that up, and obviously we would call you a music aficionado, right?
Okay.
So do you think women would have been able to, like you say you don't like the direction of how they've gone, but do you really think they would have been able to break in if they hadn't gone that way? If the subject matter hadn't been so sexualized and you know, straight right?
Yeah. I don't know. But I felt like if one was really, really good, I felt it could break through. I don't think that they had to just really degrade themselves like that in order to, because I watched it really go. Like when, okay, Nicki, Cardi B and them came.
Yep.
Okay, Megan, she kind of
But if you notice, each one
is getting a little more gutter. And now we hear Sexy Red. I don't think it can really get no more, you know, gutter as far as talking about than what she had. I think
but are we and maybe it's not so much what she's talking about, maybe it's the style and the flow and like you said, the 808 or whatever, but are we bad if we like it? Is it bad?
I said, we have paid attention.
I think if it didn't have that 808 beat, I think it would be a different story. Because I listen to these clubs now in the clubs, and the drums, man, they rocking. They rocking, man. Even though Sexy Red saying what she's saying, her drums are rocking. What's his name? B King, rocking. Glorilla, 808's rocking. It's like they really got the 808 is back.
So do you think the female rapper is doing something smarter than the average male rapper right now, or do you just think they've just put the game in a headlock?
It seems like the guy side of the game are not really creating nothing and doing nothing. Because as I'm looking, it seems like they all arguing with each other. So the game is really wide open. And there's nobody really doing anything but the females. And then it ain't even females. It's like 2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. But in all fairness, now let's go a little deeper. Right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we can talk about rap all day long, but it's to the degree of what's pushed on us too.
That's right.
What's
Yeah.
marketed to us, right?
Right.
So I remember when a female rapper couldn't, aside from Nicki, couldn't get to first base.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you have the city girls step in. But I always say the smart thing that they did was, or the people behind the QC, if you notice, and this is after Nicki, after Cardi. Maybe Cardi started a little bit, but not as much. They flipped and went back to old samples, right?
Right.
And they really started rapping on old sampled beats,
Right.
and bringing back recognizable sounds,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
reworking the songs.
Yeah.
So one could argue that that's what helped usher in the female rapper, right? Because then you had other female rappers taking that same approach, you know,
Yeah.
and it just continued to work. And now, if you notice, it's being done all the way up to now Sexy Red, looking for the, you know, and all everything and on that tip. And now you find even male rappers imitating and doing kind of the same thing. But my point is, at some point, you know, female rappers became the thing. Before, you couldn't even, no one wanted to rock with a female rapper. Now all of a sudden, it's the end thing. It's the thing to do. It's the thing to be. And obviously the labels have gotten all over it and have begun signing more female rappers, pushing more female rappers. And I really don't see, like to your point, any male rappers that are stepping out, stepping forward, and especially that the labels don't seem to show any interest.
That's what the problem is, because you got Huncho, and Huncho is serious out here, but it seems like the label not really putting the same kind of energy behind him as a label is putting behind a Sexy Red.
Right. But
Is it because the females are more marketable though?
right now,
I think it's because of what the females are talking about. But you got a lot of females out here too that a lot of people not even recognizing. You got some that's on that gangster rap too. They don't want to hear that.
Right.
They want us to be, like you say, the Sexy Red and stuff. With my music, I can't rap like that because
Right.
that's not what I know.
Right.
What I rap about is what I know and allegedly what I may have done. Allegedly.
Right.
But I don't know how to say I'm about to take your dad's Social Security check, and
Right.
I don't know how to rap like that.
Right.
Now,
They were doing it back then.
Yeah,
They just weren't talking about it.
exactly. But as far as like,
Don't know.
even as far as even as far as dressing, I dress according to how I feel. Now,
Right.
can I put it on and like if I'm going to, you know, the Blue Flames, I'm gonna put on a little whole ponytail. I'm gonna give you the Blue Flame look.
Right.
But I dress according to how I feel. But
Right.
this is not something that every day that I step out the door, that's what I'm gonna look like. That's how I represent myself. But I don't know. It seems like it's not. I don't think it's the thing of they're more marketable. It's the thing of what they're talking about makes them marketable. But like you say, you get somebody like myself, Remy Ma, you know, something like that. We're being looked at
The
differently.
label's not interested.
Exactly.
And what's sad about that, it's a market that is interested, but there's no label to push the sound onto them. They'll rather push
right.
what's
Because and I'm not justifying it, but you know, whenever you're putting your money on something, you want
Want your return.
and you want it the quickest path
Yeah,
to
right,
the
right,
return,
right.
right? You ain't trying to build, you
right.
ain't trying to grow.
No artist
Yeah.
development.
Right, you know,
Get that money
them
back
days
tomorrow.
long
Yeah,
gone and over with, right? You want the quickest
Microwave.
Right.
path to your return, and that's what they're getting right now.
Yeah, microwave.
Yep, and if you notice, you know, so many female artists that are basically now just simply imitating Sexy Red.
Right.
You know, but truth be told, I mean, you gotta tip your hat. You know, whether you like what she's talking about or not, it's working, and you gotta tip your hat to the Sexy Red, the Glorillaz. I mean, they are doing their thing. It's their time, and you know, has rap degenerated like really low? Yeah, of course. You know, but at the end of the day, it's their time. They winning. You gotta salute them. You know?
I don't think it's the thing of a lot of people just kind of like hating on them. I think sometimes they look at us as being hypocritical to the fact.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna say that because okay, you take Meathead, okay, y'all know him as Future, but you take somebody like Future. And Future was, I don't know if a lot of people remember this or not, but he was having a conversation with Nicki, and Nicki made a statement, and he made a statement, and she responded to him and said, but you rap about, you know what I'm saying, drinking and all that stuff, and then Future was like, but I don't do none of that.
Right.
He said he absolutely does none of that. So to somebody that's on the outside looking in, like everybody in that room paused at that moment. And they was like, you know, somebody brought up the fact that it was a case that was going on where I think the young boy, I don't know if he committed suicide, but he ended up, you know, dying. And it was because of something that they say was, you know, led by a Future song. So it's like, yeah, I can give you your props and all that, but it's like we as women, we are being set at so much of a high standard. It's like 1 minute we don't want to be called bitches and hoes, but we're acting like bitches and hoes, and then the next minute it's like we supposed to, what about the kids, what about the young girls, but then in the same sentence you're saying, well, they're winning, so this is what they supposed to do. I don't see myself telling my daughter that I'm about to get ready to sell some gonorrhea toothpaste. Like that makes no sense to me.
Listen,
like I'm not doing that.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying this. I'm not here to say it's right or wrong, right? What I'm saying is from a business standpoint.
Since it's working.
I mean, at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, because that's all the way the labels are looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from a society standpoint, I agree with you totally. At the end of the day, we're on our last leg as a society when you want to talk about morality, right? I mean, the stuff that they're talking about, because this is what I struggle with, just being transparent and honest. Does an artist have a responsibility?
I think so.
To say the right thing. Okay, now you say you think so. Now let me ask you this: if in Future's case, Future said he wasn't doing it, he don't, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of other stuff that Future talks about that he has engaged in and that sort of thing. To your point, Kizzy, you say you do. You think the artists do. But what about the argument that an artist might have that I have to rap about what I know? You said it yourself. You got to rap about what you know. Okay, I would make the argument Sexy Red is rapping about what she knows, being a hoe. And if that's her lifestyle, if that's what she knows, and she's been able to monetize that, who am I to say, oh, no, ma'am, you can't talk about that, or you went too far? I would say, as a society, we went too far a long time ago. And this generation is simply, like you said, we're hypocritical. Because if we really want to be real and keep it honest, we should have never let the gangster rap movement take over. Or get past. Now, if we had to stop the gangster rap sound, we probably would have never had artists as great such as Tupac. Do y'all remember when everybody was going at gangster rap?
Mm-hmm.
I forget the lady's name, Miss Dolores, and her movement and all that. She was, hindsight, she was right. She was right. God bless her soul. She was right. We should have stopped right then and there. We should have pivoted. But we full speed ahead that thing. And we kept rapping about guns, violence, killing, and it just kept going from there. And y'all know it.
No.
And rap just kept going, and we kept rapping about guns, drugs, violence, killing, murdering, all the stuff has compounded And now that the women want to rap about sex, like we've been ran the stop sign.
So is this part of perishing because of lack of knowledge? You got these artists that's rapping about stuff. Okay, my thing, the artist has a role of helping preserve the village.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not helping preserve the village, you're adding to the problem.
Absolutely.
And I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Where it comes, the hypocritical part is that, like you said, and I totally agree with you. If you're a hoe, that's what you know. That's what you're gonna rap about. But if you have done, and I'm not saying
And you
everything.
really sound out because you a hoe. You know you're a hoe.
Yeah, you know, I'm just saying. But if you have, and I'm not saying that, because like you say, be capped sometimes. I'm not saying that when certain people do interviews, everything that they're saying is truthful. But if I'm conducting an interview and you hear me come out my mouth and say, I've never been a hoe, I've never slept with 25 different men or whatever, but then I turn around and rap about it. That's what I'm saying. Now, if it's something that now one thing that we cannot, negate from is the fact of.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me stop you right there, and let me challenge you on that point. Rap has always, and I don't care what the subject matter.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, but it has always embellished. It has always embellished, right?
Yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying is that this is what I'm saying is, okay, that's just like with me. If you listen to any of my songs, what I talk about is what actually transpired. That's just like if you really know your music coming straight out of Atlanta, if you listen to the Hard Boys, Assault and Battery, they were the only hardcore rap group coming out of Atlanta that was compared to NWA, but Charles D and they did exactly what they said on their songs. That's why they was allegedly. That's why they was always into it with NWA. You could not find another group that stayed into it with NWA
you're
like
you're trying to put all rappers in a box.
No, I'm not putting all rappers in a box. I'm only just.
I think a rapper should be able to rap about things they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should be able to rap about things they've thought about doing but never have done, or things they want to do. It's a fantasy. I mean, look at. Give you an example. Look at Rick Ross. Look at Rick Ross. Look at think about Rick Ross, right? Port of Miami. All of this, and I think on Big Meat, like
a whole nother person's name.
A whole nother person's name.
Yeah,
like he created his, basically his fantasy, right? And took it all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
So that's just like.
But that's the beauty of rap.
A lot of people don't know, and no shade, because I do like you, Plies, but we all know, well, if you don't know, we all know Plies stories are his brother's stories.
Right.
They're his brothers. They're not Plies. They're his brother's story. But one thing that I can salute Plies about is he had no problem with telling you that these are his brothers, but brother locked up.
But my thing is, even if he chose not to tell you they were his brother's stories, and he took them on as his own, I feel like he has the right to own it. He wrote it. It came out of his mind or somebody else's mind, or he got it from like he developed it. So this should be rightful. He should have the right to that, and not be found to be or not be faulted for that. All I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, I'm not saying where we are as a genre of music is a good place. We all know that it's not.
Yeah.
But I think it's too far. We too far down the road now to basically say, oh, you've gone too far. No, I think we went too far a long time ago, and I don't think.
Yeah,
I think it's unfair to point a finger at someone like a Sexy Red at this juncture, and say, oh, you too far, or you went too far. Hell, Megan went too far. Cardi B went too far. I mean, absolutely. That's what. So I mean, everybody kept pushing pushing the limit.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can't police Sexy Red now. She's just a product of all of our hypocrisy.
Now, and I think I just so strongly speak on it because back then, when you really think about the music, it wasn't so much of when you see the younger kids getting killed or whatever, it had pertained to the music. It's like now, it honestly, like everybody wants to direct a lot of these killings that's going on with the younger kids to the music. It wasn't like that then. And then when you actually hear the artist that makes the music, because I've heard Cardi B say herself, I don't let my kids listen to this, but you make it.
Of course.
I've heard Sexy Red say, I wouldn't let my kids listen to my songs, but you make it. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that I guess I just stand on
being real.
Yeah, just being real. And then, like I said, me.
But is that okay? But let me ask you this.
Hold on, let me finish. Me having a son that was murdered, I don't know. I look at things from a different perspective.
But is that
Sexy
Sexy Red's responsibility to raise your kids? All she trying to do is make a record to make some money to raise her kids the way that.
No, I'm not saying she's wrong as a person.
Right.
I'm not putting anything out on her. I'm not saying she's wrong as a person.
But for the big picture.
Yeah, because it's just like if I sit here, I can't sit here and say that I'm all the way right with what I do, knowing the type of family that I actually come from. That'll be me being hypocritical to the fact. Now, would I have want my kids to be introduced to that lifestyle? No. Have I tried to keep that from them? Yes. But because of who my family is, they was going to eventually, because they tried to keep it from me. But there was no way for them to do it. But I had a mind of my own to say whether I wanted to intertwine in it or not. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get it. I get it. I just don't think that we should fault people like Sexy Red and whoever else. I mean, at the end of the day, to Kizzy's point, do we all have a greater responsibility to the whole? Yes. Mm-hmm. But
not just the artists, though.
Of course, we all do.
The parents.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta monitor what your kids listen to as well.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You
ain't gotta tell your kid right from wrong. You gotta teach them that.
Exactly.
Nobody else teach them that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But if you let these folks raise them who are making the music, you're gonna know what you're gonna come up with.
Exactly.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. But I think, but I also think if Sexy Red can come up with a song that people will respond to, more power to her. Let her get her money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else before her got theirs.
Yeah.
So she has the right to get hers. You know. So, but but it's cool. Send some police down now. Y'all good.
You better just raise your child to the best of your ability. Yeah.
Oh man.
Not the
It's
sister
music
police.
raise your children.
Kizzy, you play Sexy Red?
I do. That's what I'm saying. The 808. I'm
That
rocking
shit
with
hit,
Sexy Red.
That shit hit,
Yeah. The 808.
You gonna tell me you hear them little beat, goddamn.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah.
If you
808.
got a producer that's giving you an 808 beat, and you ain't got to do nothing but put the lyrics to it, yeah.
Shout the power part up, no?
You know, so it's like two angles on it. It's like, are people hating because she's being successful? No. She's hustling and she's in the game. She's making music. She's doing what she do. She's making music.
Yeah.
But as far as the big picture of your message toward the village, yeah.
Oh, it's fucked up.
But like you said, but we can't.
It ain't just her though.
It ain't just her, because like you said, it starts
Singer,
way
you know what I'm saying?
before her. She's just a product of her environment.
Yep. And a product of all of our hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Because we're all really at fault.
But
because
we made the environment, right?
We do.
Yeah.
But we should have put the brakes on a lot of stuff a long time ago.
Village broke down though.
Yeah.
Village's walls knocked down, everything. Village ain't up no more.
It's on fire.
Yeah. Villages, villages.
Hey, Diamond down there with a hose. She got a hose. She ready to put the fire
Yeah,
out.
villages is messed up.
Oh man, so Kizzy, let me ask you this one last question before we let you go. From seeing everything that you've seen and how you've seen the music game in Atlanta come and move, evolve, and that sort of thing, where do you think it's going next? What do you, if you had a crystal ball, what do you see? Where do you, you know, where do you see it going?
Atlanta,
The Atlanta music scene.
I think it's gonna come back to the party. I think the music scene is gonna come back to the party. I don't know the tempo, but I think it's gonna come back to the party because it's at the end of the road with we trapped out.
You trapped out.
We trapped out. It got to be something different that still relates to the culture. And ain't nothing there but party, dance. That's it.
Do you see any glimmer of signs of that make you think that or believe that?
Yeah, it's this group called DJ Kings.
Yeah.
And DJ Kings is
Great story.
You know,
4 brothers.
Yeah.
And they make the kind of music that Diamond would love.
Yeah.
You know, because they ain't
Gospel.
out there with that. Yeah, we talk about gospel. Oh nah, it's kind of like what kids talk about.
They
They're from Decatur.
They're from
They're from the east side.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta put it on.
DY Kings. Yeah,
they
they
live.
be New Atlanta. They be
Yeah, they dance, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're party.
They was at the birthday bash. The tickets I gave you.
I couldn't see.
Oh, you being funny. It's the shade.
I probably didn't see it. I missed it.
I couldn't see him. You said
That's what
something.
he's saying. He's so high.
This game, I couldn't even see him.
You know who down there?
I didn't know who down there.
On
I'm
the
looking at the monitor.
He said he go on the hill.
Hey, you know you're a father. You have to look at the monitor to know who's around you. Hey,
The monitor
that's
was-
Jesus, no. Yeah, I couldn't even see, bro.
Oh man, but yeah, okay. I'm rocking with the Kings. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Kings.
Yeah, and you line you up 6, 7 more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it don't take nothing but some visuals to get out.
Right.
The youth got to see,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can start. The snowball effect can start happening on
Absolutely. On that note, Kizzy, man, let me just say thank you so much from ATL 101. Thank you for being our first guest.
Yeah.
Yes.
it. Oh, I know.
Yeah, we got to clap for that.
Oh,
First
okay.
one.
Yeah, we
It's
went
an
first.
honor.
We went to Decatur with Greater.
Okay.
You understand? That be still crystal.
That's right. I know.
Well, John,
First.
can I say something before we end it? Okay, Kizzy. I want to personally, I'm gonna keep you updated, but I want to personally invite you out to a video shoot.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of redoing one of Youngblood's songs, and they, honored it
Okay.
and everything. We're gonna shoot the video. We're gonna dedicate it to Rico Wade, and I definitely want you to come out. We're gonna make this an Atlanta thing. And the only thing is that everybody that's in the cameo, we want y'all to wear something Atlanta. I don't care if it's the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Thrashers, the Atlanta Braves, the
Yeah,
Atlanta
Falcons.
Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna rep Atlanta,
Okay.
and we gonna rep Rico Wade, and we gonna do it for we gonna do it. We
I
gonna do
can make
it.
that happen. Do you
'Cause I
have a
don't
date
think-
on that?
I had to wait because of the untimely death of Rico Wade. I wanted to respect the whole Dungeon family and his family. So, yeah, I think Youngbloods, nobody has ever, they don't get enough credit.
Man, come on.
And they honestly set the tone for a lot of things in Atlanta, and I love J-Bo them, and I speak to them every day. They check on me and everything, and I appreciate them for that. And one of my favorite songs was Damn.
Right.
And I said, you know what, I'm gonna redo this.
You redid that.
And I redid
Wow.
it, and they appreciated it to the utmost.
Where
I was
they
scared, but yeah,
Where
but
they from?
Sean Paul from the east side.
he from the east side.
Yeah, I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah.
Cool shit going
But
on.
I'm gonna represent my people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna represent them because
Yeah.
nobody has ever redone one
It
of their
seemed
songs.
like Attic Crew politically,
Yes.
Attic Crew they took a back seat to Dungeon Family. It seems like politically. Now the streets, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
But
whole different
politically, it just seemed like that to me always. It seemed like Attic Crew took a back seat to Dungeon.
And I want to just get them.
They deserve
Oh,
it because
for sure.
they had once again, they had the 808.
The 808.
Youngbloods had more 808 than Dungeon Family.
The 808 gonna get you
To
up
me.
through though.
Always.
Tim Shouting 1-3 cool. It still lives. Yeah.
Yeah,
Boy,
for sure.
still
Gotta
rock
have them all.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
And I'm gonna
Man.
get you the song.
Kizzy. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it.
That Yummy. Do you want to invite Kizzy to your barbecue or something you got going
Oh,
on?
yeah, I got to come
I ain't got
down.
no damn barbecue.
Oh,
This who
man.
play too much. This who play too much. Y'all be trying to get. This who play too much. This who play too much.
Oh man. On that note,
That's
hey.
that west side.
Yeah, it is gonna be on the west side. The west side, on the west side, that's where it's gonna start it. Yeah.
Oh man, Kizzy again. Thank you so much for coming through, showing us love, man. Dropping them diamonds and them insights down on us or whatever. We really appreciate you. Salute you.
Yes.
Celebrate your greatness.
Thank
The
you.
legendary.
Thank you.
The legendary. Oh, she gave it back to you.
Yeah.
The legendary. Kizzy Rock. Once again, thank y'all so much for checking us out. See you next time, ATL 101.
Yeah.
We out.